Hey again, everyone. Thank you for joining me. There are a lot of folks making a lot of content out there. So if you are here, I want to let you know it means the world. There were some things that I was unable to discuss that folks had asked me in the previous years that I've been making content. I wasn't able to talk about some of these things, and now we are. So I made a couple of videos that discussed and I don't like using the term marriage, but the marital contract with a narcopath, or trying to raise children with one, or having to go through the misnamed family court. It's really the anti-family court. And I wasn't able to talk about those things, so I made one, and it didn't seem that it got a whole lot of traction. So if you really do want to talk about those things, we can now. I can open up the floor to just about anything that is related to the narcissism epidemic that we're still experiencing. If there's something that you want to talk about, let me know. On that note, though, there was something kind of funny about there's a back page on this platform that you can see. There's some analytics, and it seems that things were down by almost 2/3. So only a third of the people had clicked through on that particular video for some reason. I don't know. I know it sounds paranoid, but I think that there are some things that some of the content, some of the platforms don't want us to talk about. I hope that that's not it. Like I said, it sounds a bit paranoid, but something just seems off. So if there's some things that you want to talk about, the floor is open. Let's do that. That is pretty much my only goal for this, for what I do, is that I want you to know what was happening to me, what I was having to experience, what I went through, how I dealt with it, got out of it, and what it's like on the other side, because I promise you, it is night and day. If you're one of those that keeps telling people to just go no contact, and you're the one that can go no contact, go no contact. I don't know what you're doing here. These discussions that I'm making are for people who are unable to, or it's even unclear as to why they should go no contact. You may have to have dealings with a narcopath sometimes for decades, especially if you have children with one of those monsters like I did, and that was the reason why I was unable to completely cut ties. Now that I actually can, and I can talk about it. So with that being said, if this is something that y'all want to discuss, please let me know. All right. The other thing is that I don't ask for donations, and there are folks that do ask for donations, content creators. Please do. This stuff is really not easy to do. The videos, sometimes people have to do take and retake, and they have to edit it and get it put up on the platform, deal with censorship, and people are trying to shut them down. Give them a couple of bucks if you can. Please do. God, this is harder. Okay, let me try to regroup here. All right. I made some content with some video that I took of one of the narcopath abusers, and I pulled some very public information off of the internet about another one of the narcopaths that I was having issues with, and I made some content for you. I did ask another content creator named Ollie Matthews to give his take on it, which he's brilliant. He does really, really good work. He's probably he is the first one that I found that was making content related to narcissism. I had no idea what we were talking about. I didn't have any terms for it yet. And so it's been years now. It's been 6-7 years since I've become aware of this issue and been watching his channel. And he did a wonderful commentary on what I had made. And I'll put the link in the description box so that you can visit it as well. And if you can, Ollie Matthews does ask for donations to his content, or his channel as he calls it. Please do if you can. But anyway, back to the issue of the subjects that I wasn't able to cover previously. If y'all want to talk about those things, let me know, and I'll be happy to make that for you. I've been through it. I can tell you 100% that things are so much different from now than the way they were previously. And I want you to know how I did it. family court is not, it's the anti-family court is not an easy thing to go through. If you've got children with them, it's just, man, it's excruciating because they use it to try to punish, hurt, and harm, and harass. They're not using it for the interest of the kids. They're using it to control and try to subjugate you. And that's exactly what court systems are designed to do. Besides steal your money, they are there to subjugate you. And they have to stay in business somehow. There is a link somewhere that I'm going to find. I don't know where it is right now, but I'm going to find it. It's called Divorce Inc. or Divorce Corp. And you'll just be blown away at the amounts of money that go through those courts and how they use it to shore up bonds and stocks for people. It's a money-making scheme. It has almost nothing to do with the family, especially the children, but it has a lot to do with getting child support from one parent to the other, which, by the way, as we'd spoke about, after I regained primary custody of the kiddo that I was talking about, who is now emancipated adult, I got $0 and 0 cents child support. That's just how it works for the anti-family court if you've been through it. There's a lot of other things that I want to discuss, but I have to make sure that I know what it is that you're interested in. It was a nightmare. You probably get tangled up with a narcopath without even knowing it. You probably get, not probably, I know that you get married with one, not knowing what they're about. Eventually having a family with one, it takes a really long time to get yourself extricated from the situations that they put you in. It's not easy, and you can't just go no contact. That's why I was so adamant in so many of the other videos that I'd made about you can't just go no contact. I wish that I could have years ago. And looking back, and hindsight's 2020, I had my opportunities to cut and run, but I didn't do it because I wanted to be a stand-up guy. I wanted to follow through and be a man of my word. And it got me in some real trouble. Some of the ideas that are acceptable in polite society don't work with a narcopath. You need to remember that. It's a whole other set of rules, especially in this epidemic that we have going on presently. A lot of these people, they use your kindness, they use your kindness against you, and they mistake your kindness as weakness, and sometimes it actually is. So you have to make sure that you're doing the right thing for you and that you're taking care of you and the people around you. I did get myself away from the narcopath a little bit at a time, and I absolutely 1,000% I was dedicated to not let them ruin my life. And so I really did. I hunkered down and I started to fashion ways to regain my life and the life of others around me as well. It was not easy, and I made a video or two. One was how to win at narcissism. I know that's just not the how to win at narcissism. We're not trying to win at narcissism. I really just didn't know what I was doing then, but I had made some discoveries about how to deal with them, and it's how to beat the narcissist at their own game. And I know how. Y'all stick around. I can let you know. Let me know what you want to know, and I'll let you know. One way is you have to be dedicated. You have to be completely dedicated. This is if you have limited contact, or if you're gray rock and you're not no contact, you need to keep an eye on them. Trust me, they're keeping an eye on you. I saw their flying monkeys on some of my social media pages, and I saw how they were stalking me for years to see what I was doing. And you need to do the same. If you're in that war, you may not be interested in the war, but that war is interested in you. So keep an eye on them is one way. You need to realize too that they have something that I think is probably common in a narcopath, is this oppositional defiance disorder. It's like anything that you say, they're going to do the opposite. And I got to tell you, and it's funny. I mean, it really is comical now when we start to get into the story, because I've got a lot to tell you. When we start to get into the story, you're going to find out how, when I was in anti-family court, how I started to handle the narcopath. I didn't even tell my attorneys what I had up my sleeve, but basically it's this: if you want something, just tell them you don't want it. It's really that simple. If you want the house, you tell them you don't want the house. They can have it. They absolutely will walk away from it. It's the funniest thing ever. Another another one of the, and this, it's, it's like dealing with children in a way, but like spoiled evil children, because they're not grown up in their minds. They just don't think and behave the way we do. One way that I regained a large part of my financial life is I told her that she couldn't live without my money. Now you think about that. You tell a narcissist you can't live without my money. What do you think she's going to do? Or he. It could be a he, I guess, as well. Her response was, "Oh yeah? Watch me." And so I watched her live without my money for a long time. They do eventually try to take you back into anti-family court and garner more of your finances. But like I said, I'm probably not one to mess around with that. I do fight back. So anyway, there's a lot of that I want to talk about. Let me know what you're interested in. Again, I'm not asking for any donations. If you guys aren't coming here to watch these, then there's really no reason for me to continue to make them. The biggest thing to me is that if you are enjoying it, it is something that you are interested in, that you please leave a comment down there. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about what I've been speaking of, and we will continue on with that note. Look, I want to thank you all for sticking with me for so long. It's been, like I said, probably 6 years now. I've discovered what the narcopath was probably 5 years before that, but I wasn't able to make anything at that time. But here we are. So anyway, if you're sticking around and you've made it to the end of this video, then I want to thank you. So with that being said, I'm going to go and sign off. I hope that you have a wonderful 4th of July weekend. And with that, I will say goodbye and thank you.